Yes, and we are back. Thank you for staying with us. And now to the topic that I had promised. We are going to talk about something a bit different still around cloud, but we have broadened it up to harnessing the power of AI, data, and cloud innovation for sustainable growth. How exactly can we tap into these resources that we have right here to our advantage? And for this particular topic, we have been joined by an expert all the way from Nigeria. We have Wale Adedeji. He's the founder and CEO of Data Melon. Welcome.
Yeah, my pleasure to be here.
We are glad to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want you to tell us what you do as a founder of Data Melon. What is it that you do in your company?
Thank you for having me. Data Melon, we're into AI, data, and cloud consulting. We help organizations to navigate through this amazing technology called artificial intelligence that's upon us as human beings, which is going to change everything we do, the way we live. Fundamentally, every aspect of human being is going to be changed by this amazing technology. So that's what we're doing to help organizations to navigate, to find the best use cases, to leverage for this, to use this technology to solve problems, aching problem for sustainable growth.
Okay, so you are helping organizations to use AI for sustainable growth.
Yeah.
And this is because it is a technology that is revolutionizing everything, right?
Yeah.
How exactly are you helping them harness this particular technology?
Okay, there's this saying that data is the new oil. So I think it's more than oil now. It's something else, more than oil.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. Is this saying all along that data is usually is the new oil,
Yeah.
right? But you look at the most valuable companies in the world now, all of them are data company. And there's this saying by Satya Nadella of Microsoft a while ago that every organization is going to be a data company.
Wow.
It's going to be a data, everything you do has to be data driven. But on top of that now, we now have artificial intelligence, which means we now have democratization of knowledge. Is at fingertips on everybody. Everybody has that knowledge. All you have to do is just prompt. What is prompt? You command technology, you command the computer, which means the way we interact with computing is changing. Before, everything is done for us. Everything is there. The application is there. You just click and click. But now you'll be able to interact with it more seamlessly, either by typing or talking to it. I think we've been doing a lot of that. I'm sure some of a lot of people know about GPT already. We've all been using Google for a very long time. Most of the time we talk, we just say something to Google. All this artificial intelligence behind the scene, machine learning, artificial intelligence. So how, for an organization, it's beyond just the technology. You have to use it to drive some productivity. Is it that it increases your revenue or it decreases your cost? So how did you leverage that technology to be able to achieve this too? That's what we help organizations to do.
Okay, interesting. And we'll come back to that later on. But when we were speaking just before we got onto camera, you said 500 billion has so far been pumped into AI since Donald Trump took the presidency. Why is this? How, this 500 billion is a large amount of money. It's really an investment. Why is it that they have diverted all this money now to AI?
I think it's even more than that. What's been pledged is more than $1 trillion to be pumped into AI. And it's because it's going to change. Before you have your data center in your office, you have your developers, they develop the application for you. Where it's going is more than that. You can have this supercomputer that all of us interact with. So we need a lot of computing capacity because we're we want these machines or these technologies is going to be able to reason like us human beings. So it's learning. It's like our brain. So yeah, you
it's being
need
trained
those
to reason
exactly.
like a
You
human
need those
being.
computing power. You can imagine. Okay, during the COVID, we're able to have the vaccine. They were able to accelerate the vaccine because of what? Because of machine learning and cloud computing. Because they have a lot of resources available on demand. Unlike traditionally, that you have to go and buy the servers. It takes months before the servers are produced and shipped to you and all of that. But now you have the hyperscaler. The capacity is there for you. Anytime you need it, all you have to do is just to reserve or just make a call. The capacity is there for you to use. So that's the trend. So all applications that we're all interacting with. And then we're not talking of agents. Agent means like, should I say like, should we put it like mini human? Every one of us is going to have an agent to help us to do one thing or the other. I think at Davos, Salesforce CEO was talking of digital workforce.
Digital workforce.
Digital workforce, which means you're going to have digital people. They're not people, they're digital elements or digital
like the
agents.
avatar, like
Exactly, it's going to be like that, but they're actually doing something for you. All you have to do is to command them, schedule my meeting, do all this kind of stuff for me, and that's it. It is there on that supercomputer to do everything on your behalf, based on your instruction.
Okay.
So that we can start to imagine what is coming when each and every one of us is going to have an agent that will be able to perform some specific tasks for us.
Okay, that is wild when you think about it, and that's where we're going. You know, that's where we're going slowly, quickly. Actually, not really slowly, because it's really evolving
and that's one
fast.
good thing. The pace of innovation in this space right now is insane.
It is.
Everything moves so fast. DeepSeek, about 2 weeks ago, was all over the place.
Yeah.
How they were able to engineer their training, and then what cost some people billions of dollars, they were able to do with fraction of billions. We're talking of tens of thousands, small fraction of millions of dollars, and producing the same output.
Exactly.
So it's just
Wow.
humongous what's coming. It's wild.
It is amazing. And you know, there are fears that people have when it comes to AI, because you have said now that we're going to have those mini agents working for us, so these supercomputers. And now, what will be the work of the virtual assistant that is currently doing that particular work, who schedules your task, who, you know, does your emails, all those things? Now, where will they go?
Okay, I think there's a lot of people are saying your job is if your job is going to be killed if you're not using the AI. Like you rightly said, the AI is going to be our companion. Okay, it's going to help us to be more efficient. It's not going to kill our jobs, but definitely some manual work will be automated. Automation will do something. At the same time, I think a lot of high-value jobs are going to be created, and people, we're not going to be very, very efficient, very productive. You're going to be able to get a lot of things done very quickly. So it's going to be working hand in hand with us. The agent will be working. You have to instruct the agent to do some things, and the agent have to produce something for you to consume, right? So it's going to be a win-win for us. The agent is going to be there, make us more productive. We're going to live a better life.
Okay.
Right? So you're going to probably have more time to play and enjoy the life itself. So that's it.
So we won't need to be there working 8 to 5, because it has made the work more efficient, something that you take.
Those are the kind of shift that's coming. I think there's a conference going on in Paris now, AI, something I can't remember the headline. I think the Vice President of my United States is there, J.D. Vance is there, and a lot of other top people. It's about the future of work. The way we work, everything is going to change.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Even the generation, they have a changed mindset of work, you know.
That's it.
A lot of things are changing, really. Now, when we talk about AI and the computing power that it needs, you know, people have been using servers, and now you've talked about cloud computing. How is that also helping, and how is that changing, and why do we need to adopt it?
Okay. Number one, I think economy of scale, traditional economy comes in. When we pull resources together, then we're able to reduce costs for everybody, right? When all of us consume a resource. With cloud computing, what it means is, unlike before, if you want to set up a shop, you could manage the flourishing of startups in the world, or in Africa, here in Nairobi as well. It's been due to cloud computing, because now whatever you need, you can just go online and just start. Since we've started this interview, somebody could have launched an application to the whole world, because the resources is there, and you pay for what you use. And then you have AI on top of that to help you to manage that system and make sure that you're not over provisioning. You don't reserve the capacity that you don't need. As your traffic scales up, as you have more customers coming in, then you have the computing resources there to respond and grow automatically. And if you can imagine, during the evenings or the night when the traffic has gone down, you're not using a lot of resources. It means the system automatically also scales down the capacity you need. So I think what cloud computing has done for the world, and for us, especially in the startup scene, I would say not just in the startup scene, the SME and the enterprise as well. It has enabled people, companies, organizations to be more efficient, which means they're able to allocate some resources that have been stacked on some servers. When you're purchasing your infrastructure, you have to plan ahead for like 5 or 6 years, and pay up front. But now you don't have. You have all those cash now that you can put into some other things. So it's been an amazing thing for the world.
Wow. So now you only use what you need at that particular moment.
You only pay for what you need.
You only pay for what you need at that particular moment. And when you need to scale up, then you add to that.
And you just pay for that extra capacity. And that's
Which is more convenient, more efficient for them. What are the examples of these cloud services? Are this AWS, the Azure kind of services being provided?
I think the leading hyperscaler is AWS, which we're proud to be one of the prime partners in sub-Saharan Africa. And then you have Azure, just like you mentioned. You have Google, you have Oracle, you have Huawei, and you have a lot of other local providers as well. But one thing that the big hyperscalers bring to the table is the enormous scale, R&D, and all of that they embark on all the time. And since AWS was launched, prices always goes down consistently. They've always been reduced price, because the more people you have, the more they can reduce the price, which means the economy. Once the economy of scale kicks in, then you can offer that service cheaper for the people, for everyone.
All right. Yeah. Interesting. And what about the security? How secure?
Okay. I think a lot of people ask this question all the time. I think there's this conversation with some folks, with some executives, I think in one of the sub-Saharan African country. They were saying, oh, where is our data stored and all of that, and security and blah, 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 blah. And I think they took them, one of the hyperscalers, they took them to the US and asked all of them about their information and all that, and they showed them on the screen. You can see what is happening. So in terms of security, I think you are more protected on the cloud, because you have the cloud is like a compartment, it's like a space. You're renting your own space out of it. The hyperscaler have the overall, they have a perimeter around the service, which means when something is coming in, they have the first line of defense. And of course, you have the shared responsibility model. There are some security measures that it is your responsibility. And there's some that it's the responsibility of the hyperscaler. And there's lots of framework that you can follow to make sure your solution is well protected, and a lot of tools as well. And most of the traditional security solutions that you have that you use on Prime, most of them are also available on the cloud as well, which you can still leverage. And also you have this flexibility and agility in the cloud for you to architect your solution in the most secure way.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the security is given, but you also have,
we have a role to play. It's everybody's responsibility
to ensure security.
Yeah.
But what about something in the open AI? Coming back to AI,
Okay.
and looking at ChatGPT, because there has been some questions over how secure our data is with ChatGPT, especially with the free versions that people are using. You feed data into it, so it pretty much has all your information, but we don't know how it's being used and all that. So how is the data security measures?
In terms of that, the way I look at it is, of course, we're all enjoying the freemium version, and I think there's a caveat that your data is not being used for any training and all of that. So all of us have to go with that, and there are all sorts of certification that goes into that to confirm that your data is not being used for any training and all of that. So I think it's just something that we just have to go with. It's like you use Facebook, right?
Yeah.
You willingly submit yourself. If you have to use the free service, the terms and conditions and everything is there, but none of us ever take time to. Everybody just skip through and all of that. So I think most of these things are well specified and stated for us to go through them. If you're not comfortable with it, you can opt out. But do you want to opt out? It's difficult.
It's hard.
It is. It is hard.
When you consider, the kind of benefits you're getting,
exactly.
it would be hard for you to opt out.
So we just have to take it up as it is, that your data is not being used for anything. And many people make reference to this. I mentioned Facebook. All of us use Gmail, all sorts of stuff that are free. We use X, we use LinkedIn, and all of that. I think we have to look at the benefit. We have to look at what benefits, because it has to be about value for me. What value are you getting from this? What's your trade-off? Okay, it's like what people are saying. America innovate, the rest of the world regulate.
Okay, interesting. But still on that, is it not when, let's say, Meta, how it uses our data? Yes, we have accepted to the terms and conditions without knowing. Okay, we just rushed to ticking it. But is it not shaping how we think now, the decisions that we make rather? Because if I go to Meta Facebook and I click on one thing, I want to, decide on whether I want to buy a handbag, and then everywhere else I'm just seeing handbags. Or when I get Instagram, I'm seeing handbags. Everywhere I'm seeing handbags, and then I'll probably get to purchase that bag, even if I'm not in a position to at that particular moment, because it's got into my brain. So is that where we're going? Is that a way of regulating that? How it's shaping our decisions?
Okay, it's very, very interesting conversation. I was before I left London yesterday or 2 days ago, I was having a chat with my wife, and she was like, I was looking for something, and all the adverts I'm seeing on Instagram, it's just this. She came to my office, and I said, yes. So can you imagine? I said, oh, they're listening, there's something, they just put everything into my head. I said, imagine you are a seller, or you're advertising on Facebook, and what Facebook is doing is to put you in front of your buyers. And they have this clever, lovely algorithm to do that. For you, imagine as a seller, you are able to have a good business. And for you as well, as a buyer that you're looking for something, they are able to serve you much, much better. They give you options and all of that. So if you look at it, and a lot of people say, oh, they're listening, they're doing that. You have to look at, everything goes down to the value. What's the value in it for me? For the seller, it's amazing. I think Facebook, they've done amazing with the ad, with the targeting of the ad, so such that you as a seller, you have maximum return on your investment. And you have to remember, this service have to be paid for by someone for us to have it free. And for you as a consumer, you have array of choices
to make. Okay.
to make.
So it just depends
So
on
at the
how
end
you
of the
look
day,
at it.
it depends on how you look at it and what's the value for me in it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. What about, because I've seen AI now also getting into for those who are doing voiceover, the voiceover business,
Yeah.
there are jobs now where they're paying you to have your voice train an AI to sound like you. I don't know how safe that is, because for people in the voiceover industry, they felt a bit insecure with that, because yes, you'll be paid for that particular moment, you will be paid good money, but over time your voice will be used and you will not be paid for it. So is that really good business at the end of the day?
It might be a very fantastic business for them. It means
How
they have to do very little now. Once your voice is captured, you continue to earn, or you might be sleeping and you're earning money.
But they won't really
That means
give
you have to license. The model have to change. It's part of what we're talking about, this shift in technology.
Okay.
So it means the model have to change. Once they capture your voice once, right? For anybody to use AI to do anything on it, they have to pay you. Some revenue must be coming back to you.
Okay, so you have to get that license, otherwise...
Exactly. So the model have to change. It's not just, you have to be coming to the studio all the time, right? Even you yourself, you can sit in at home on your computer, use the AI to do all sorts of stuff, and you have your store. You're selling the voice, and or you just license the voice out to some people.
Okay.
So you can imagine how rich those voiceover artists are going to be over time.
Over time, only if the license.
Exactly.
The voice.
Exactly. So
okay,
the model have to change because the technology is changing.
Okay, so it's basically what I'm getting. It's just aligning with technology and not being fearful about the technology.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. I love it. Now, when we talk about the African continent. For developers especially, how can they leverage on this AI data and cloud computing to have sustainable growth?
I think we've done amazingly well in that respect. We have flourish, loads of startup, a number of unicorns in Africa at the moment. I think number one on the list is Flutterwave in Nigeria, and a lot of others. We're doing a lot in terms of leveraging cloud data and AI already, but we need to do more. I think internet penetration in Africa, we need to do a lot more. I think the penetration is there, but everywhere I go to, it's expensive. The internet is expensive, and the internet is supposed to be like the blood that flows in our economy now, right? It's something that's supposed to just be there. I don't know what the government and the private sector have to do all over Africa. We need to make it cheaper.
The internet
it has to be cheaper, because literally we have to access everything over the internet, as we've been doing already.
True.
And it's going to be much more, because the way we now interact with that technology is going to be different. You're going to be able to just issue a voice command, go and do all this for me, and that's it. Or we just type something, a lot of stuff is being done for you in the back end. So that's the area of focus. And in terms of talent, there's a whole lot we're doing in Africa, but definitely we need to do more. Then with AI, it comes with a lot of challenge as well. There's a lot of stuff that have been automated in that space at the moment. And I believe we have a golden opportunity to tap into that and be part of this wave.
Okay. What support can the startups be given? Because many startups say it's hard to even scale up, as a startup. And in Kenya, we have tried. I believe Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda, some countries have really tried to support startups, but still, you'd hear Kenyan innovators saying they still need a lot of support, especially when it comes to things like funding. You know, when you're coming up with a company, you have an idea, but you don't have enough money to sustain it.
Yeah.
So how can they go about this?
Yeah, definitely in terms of funding, more has to be done. Because if you look at the scale of, right now, there's a chap in the state that monitors the amount of funding that goes into AI startups. And the amount of millions or billions that is being pumped into all these AI startups in the state is, I've not seen it anywhere in the world right now.
Oh.
This is going on right now. So I think there's some homegrown accelerators, incubators, like Future Africa, that's funded by Inyaboije in Nigeria, and I see lots of other initiatives in Africa that people are tapping into. If you have good idea, you can you register and all of that. There's a lot of it, and other international accelerators as well. But we need to do more. That's what I'll say. All these opportunities are there for people to tap into. You have a good idea. We too were trying to do something in data Milan. We're launching an AI venture studio very soon. Yeah.
What will that be about?
That's going to be about if you have an idea, you've done your product market fit, or you validate your idea, and you want to leverage AI to do stuff, you just come to us.
Okay.
We'll help you to get you off the ground.
So there's also need for innovators to really tap into AI in whatever they are really coming up with. It's the new
it is
space.
now. It is now. You definitely anything you're doing now in that text literally you want to solve any problem with technology. You must be pioneering with AI.
Use AI.
You have to use AI now.
Okay.
There's no more any traditional stuff. There must be some use cases. Why? Because it's going to make you very efficient. It means you can scale from 0 to 1 within weeks. Everything can be ready within weeks, and you're in the market. So that's why you have to leverage the AI. Starting from writing, putting your ideas together, you leverage AI.
Wow.
All along the chain like that.
You just go with AI, makes it easier for you. It's actually more sustainable.
To be honest, another thing I'm saying is when to use, that's part of thinking we need to have in our organizations and all that. People have to be educated about it. It's not going to take your job away. And you look at traditional employee, because at times if you employ smart people, they're intelligent, they're savvy, they know what they're doing, they want to create something. What motivates them is not the money that they're being paid. It's that joy of doing something, creativity. But at times when you leverage AI, you might start feeling somehow, if you're a very intelligent person, that what have I contributed here? They have to start, the mindset have to change in the sense that I, as a CEO of a company, I do not care how you have done it. I want quick and fast result that delivers value for our customers. Okay, so for you as that smart person, what you need to be thinking about is the end result, the value from it.
The value that
is at the end of the day. And also, we also need to let people know when to use it. Because like, a lot of times, just sit down or something. It has to be part of our subconsciousness. What can we uplift for this guy to do the heavy lifting for us so that we can move quickly?
Okay, so you also need to uplift, meaning that you also need to have knowledge. So we can't just say, I'm going to use AI if you don't have the background foundation or knowledge that you need.
For you to even ask the right question, because it's what you
feed it.
What you feed as you get a response. And what you feed in determines the kind of response you get at the end of the day. So for you to even ask the right question, I'm going to tell the audience, what I tell my people, my staff, and everybody around me is, imagine the AI as that super thing there. Whatever you need, just say it as the way you are thinking about it. It's like a child. You want to ask your parent for something. You just go straight. Daddy, I need this. So just frame your question. What you have in mind of doing, just say it out. Just say it as it is.
As it is.
Exactly. Then you now need to start refining, and that's where your intelligence now comes in as well. So you might need to refine this question over time.
Okay.
So that's.
It makes a lot of sense, because I saw somewhere saying how a doctor would use an AI to get a diagnosis for a patient is not the same way how a patient would use the same AI to get, they would get two different things, but the doctor would get the accurate results because he has the knowledge and prompts the right things to the AI. Wonderful. Now, going back to what we were talking about in cloud computing, and you talked about the storage. So the cloud storage is better. Now the computing, because for big things, it needs a lot of computing power. So does it also relieve the innovator, the developer from this?
Yeah, of course. Cloud is more than just the storage, right? Yeah, maybe in layman's language, people can say storage. You have much more. In the cloud, what you have elements. You have tidbits that you can combine together to have an application. And with the AI, in this AI era as well, you have different services that your developer would need to glue together, because it's not possible for the cloud provider to know what you want to do. So you have your architect that understand different services that you have on the cloud, that you need to combine all these services together to build an application for you. So in terms of storage, in terms of computing, the processing of the data, you need to store your data, you need to get insight from your data. You have all these services. You want to train your own model, you want to have your own AI as well. All the services are there in bits and pieces that you need. Your architect will look at everything. This is the problem we're trying to solve. These are the services we need to do this, and then they put everything together. Then you have a scalable solution.
All right, wonderful. Now back to, as we come to a close in this conversation, back to what you're doing as data melon, and how you're helping companies position themselves right in terms of using AI and all that. Are there specific companies, or is it all companies?
It's all companies. All companies. Our major focus is on the on BFSI, on the finance industry.
In the finance.
But at the same time, we cut it because the use cases cut across everywhere. All companies, from startups to small and medium scale enterprises to government. So we help all organizations to make to identify the high impact use cases and see it in action.
All right. And now how can people also cap, because with every good thing, it has its own downsides, and AI has its own, like just recently, our main national broadcaster Twitter handle was hacked, and okay, I know that's around cybersecurity, but it's still around, because when it was hacked, the name was changed to this new. Why am I forgetting the name? Not DeepSeek. It was changed to DeepSeek. Yeah, but I know it's not DeepSeek probably, but there's a message that was being passed. Not just that, but another media house as well, and then even DCI, that's our security agency. So there's the harms that AI can also do. How do we curb that?
I think it's like every invention. Let's walk down the maroon lane a little bit. When car was invented, a lot of people died. When car was invented, the car weren't as safe as they are today, and it has gone through series and series of revision. of updates, safety checks, regulation, and all of that. I believe the same thing. Before coming to that, even aeroplane, okay? Today, I was coming from London yesterday, the flights. I was working all the way from London, making calls and all of that to Nairobi.
Yeah.
It was like I was in my living room, right, or like in my office. It is that safe today. Of course, some things still happen once in a while.
Yeah.
But we have that confidence to jump on the plane and go where we need to go. I think the same thing will happen with AI as well and all these challenges. With time, humanity will rise up. We have a proper regulation. We have all these safety checks. We're going to put everything in place to make it a part of our daily life, to regulate it, to make it safe, and for us to have that ultimate aim and value from it, which is to better society, improve life, and more productivity for all of us. So it's a challenge that we're also going to use the AI to overcome very faster. The AI itself will help us
to overcome
it.
its challenges
much faster.
Okay.
So that's what I would say. It's a challenge that
we'll need to.
Like every invention, when they come, all those challenges comes with them, and over time, humanity rises up and find a solution to that.
Okay, a particular challenge for Africa, as the last question, it's how AI has been developed outside and it doesn't really favor Africa, for sometimes there's a bias against Africans. Someone tried to search an image of a white person, a white person begging an African for food, and it couldn't do that because the perception is that the African man is the poor man. It can't be a white man borrowing an African man, and even the language and everything else. So how can we change this to our advantage as Africans?
Okay, I think just like what I've said, I think all those biases, not towards in Africa alone. I remember in London where I was in a workshop about 2 weeks ago, and some people were saying some stuff that they've seen as well that is biased towards them in London.
Okay.
So it's not just us alone. And when you do anything on GPT now, you see all the option is giving you. Everything is written in American English, not in British English. So that's some biases as well. So I believe with time, all these challenges are going to be overcome. And I know there's a lot of stuff that is going on within Africa as well in the AI space, to be able to have all these. Because I think part of it is data. A lot of people have been saying this, data in Africa are not easily available. Most of the data are still in silo. Some stuff are not online.
Even the developers themselves do
not
have access to data.
Yeah, of course, developer, you want to start a business, you have data for your customers and all of that. But in terms of public data set, very little is there. Very, very, very little is out there. So I think we have some ongoing project with some clients, and to pull data from different places is a Herculean task. So the data in Africa, we have to do a lot more in making the data accessible, in assembling the data, in gathering them together. And part of what I've said is we will overcome this. These are challenges that we will overcome. We have no choice. We have to do it. And what will also help us to do it better, the AI will help us
to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. Maybe as a way of closing, you have something to say, you can say directly to the camera, as you also tell us your company's social handle if anyone wants to reach out.
Okay, what I would just say is we have a pivotal moment in history, and all of us should be excited that we are alive today. With this amazing shift in technology that's going to affect everything we all do. We need to have it. We have to make deliberate effort to make sure we're leveraging this technology. And for our leaders in Africa, we need to do more in terms of affordability of internet. I think is a critical thing for me. If internet is affordable in Africa, it can use that. It can jumpstart our economy. The multiplier effect is going to be amazing for us. And yeah, in Data Melon, what we do is we help organizations, startups, SME, and enterprises to leverage this amazing technology to derive real value for their stakeholders. Yeah, you said our social handles.
Yeah.
We're available on LinkedIn, X, and online as well. We're there, and we're also launching. We're having a workshop on Friday at Hyatt Regency, an AI Innovation Summit, and we're also having a mixer on Saturday for the startup community.
All right.
To announce our entrance into the vibrant Kenyan market.
All right. Welcome. Thank you very much. We do appreciate your insights on this particular topic, and we hope to have you again. All right, so that has been Wale Adedeji. He's the founder and CEO of Data Melon, and we've been talking about harnessing the power of AI, data, and cloud innovation for sustainable growth. I hope you've taken something from this very informative conversation. You can talk to us at Y254 using the hashtag Y in the Morning. For now, we're going to take a short break, and then Brand Sakwa will be coming up next with the other interview. Stay tuned.